If you're trying to get into the high paying client realm, then in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I did it over the past 10 years. What's up, guys? I'm Kyle Milan, and if you are trying to grow and scale your business, you're probably dealing with the issues that I dealt with 10 years ago, and let me go into the details on how you can overcome it. So the first thing you might be dealing with is possibly some imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome just basically means that you feel like you're not worthy for those higher paying clients. And most likely, if you haven't been doing this for a long time, you are not worthy of it because you don't have the experience, the track record, the runway of proving that you know what you're doing. So before I even started my company, I worked 12 years in sales and marketing at organizations, 3 years in engineering before that. And then I started a company because I had a proven track record. I knew what I was doing about sales, marketing, and can continue to expand and build on that. The first clients I had were not five-figure clients. They were people that were just looking to take a risk, go with somebody that is a small company, but says that they can do these things and say, you know what, I'm going to give you X amount of dollars for it. And it worked out, and you may be dealing with the same issue. It does not matter what you're doing. You could be doing creative work. You can do agency work. You can be doing home remodeling. If you're looking to build and scale a business, a foundation, whether it's 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures a month, then the foundation is still the same. Step number one is you have to have some sort of experience. There's too many younger people going out there saying, I know how to do this. I did it once. I can now repeat it for a lot of people. And maybe you can, but that's typically not sustainable. You have to have a proven track record to be able to say, I've gotten into all these situations. It's a learning process. Don't think that just because you did it once, you're now an expert. You need to sit back and say, I need to learn as much as possible and inch my way up. Nobody that built an entire empire went from 0 to 60 in a matter of a year. They had incremental growth and they had some bigger leaps and bounds. But to get there, that's when you're getting into having a massive team to help you make those big jumps. So imposter syndrome is something that I see all the time. People feel like they're not worthy, and maybe you aren't, and maybe you are. We have to look at it and say, do I really have the experience that I can stand on it and say, I can do what I'm telling you I can do, and therefore I'm going to demand higher prices and go after those bigger customers. The flip side of it is that you have to have systems and processes. So if you're trying to go from that single person company up to multi employees and go into the bigger deals, bigger contracts, you have to be able to show that you can support it. And what I mean by that is that if I come to your website, if I look at your marketing material, does it look like you're a one-person company? Does it look like you have a team underneath you? You want to appear to be bigger than you are if you have the experience and the skills to be able to produce the results. I'm not saying fake it till you make it, but you need to be able to look at it and say, a potential customer, a big customer, whatever that is defined to you. It could be somebody that's paying you $20,000 to do that kitchen remodeling, or $5,000 to do a video shoot, or $10,000 a month to do marketing or sales activities for them. It doesn't matter. Whatever big means to you, it is subjective. And so therefore, if they're coming to your site, they're looking at your marketing material, they're looking at your case studies and your experience and your examples. Are they going to be impressed with it? So you have to look at it through their lens and say, what are they looking for in this? What are the things, what are the issues they're going to have? If you're a small company and you're one person, they're going to be concerned about timeliness of delivering whatever it is. What happens if you get sick? What happens if you go on vacation? Are you the best person to be able to do this? Do you have a team to support you when things get busy? They're going to think that they're not the most important customer, that you have other customers too. So those are all factors that are going to go into their head when they're initially looking at you, possibly even before they pick up the phone and call you. They're also looking for referrals and proof and examples of work and case studies. So even if you're a home remodeler, they want to see pictures of things that you've done. You can't just say, I do all these things. They're going to want pictures, referrals, projects, etc., to make them feel comfortable, because you can't close anyone without building trust. And at these bigger companies, you're going to need to build trust a little bit different than the smaller organizations. So number one is going to be the imposter syndrome that you might deal with. Number two, you better have systems in place. I have made every mistake possible in the past 10 years of building my company, of going down the path of systems and it not working, picking programs and then changing them after a year, changing them after 5 years, trying to become more efficient and it doesn't work out, teaching the team new systems. Like I've gone through every path, so I feel like I can speak on this and say the systems are what's gonna make you repeatable, and it's gonna make your process a lot smoother as you go about doing it. And those bigger deals, those higher ticket sales, are gonna want to know that you have a system in place, because that's what they're used to dealing with the bigger companies. So you can take a step back and say, I do these things. I'm a plumber, I'm an agency, I'm a home remodeler. if the big ticket items are looking at my competition and I look at them and say, what things do they have that I don't have? You better get those things put in place. If they're used to being quoted a certain way, being invoiced a certain way, having some type of experience when they deal with those bigger companies that are your competitors in this, then you have to be able to have similar systems in place or to be able to speak to it. That's where that experience comes in. So let's say that you're a marketing agency and you've been doing social media marketing for the past 12 months or the past 12 years. And now you're like, hey, I want to step it up. These bigger companies, these bigger ticket items, video is where it's at, or paid ads is where it's at, or web development. If you want to get to that level, you have to, as the owner, as the head in charge, have to learn that skill first. You have to become hyper focused on that skill, learn every aspect of it, because you're going to be the one doing it initially, and then build out the team from there. There's nothing to say that bigger deals couldn't come from that. Sometimes we've gotten ourselves in a situation with bigger companies in the past 5 to 7 years where we're doing things that we had never done before, but it's not that far outside of the box. Even when I first took on my first web development client, I knew very little about web development. I built my own website and I had done upkeep on it, but I had a client that said, hey, my current web agency is going under. It's a 2-person shop and they're both retiring. Do you do web development? I was like, of course I do web development. We do that for some clients. We just don't really advertise it. That's the salesman in me, just basically getting myself into bad situations. Then from there, she's like, okay, here's what my site's built on. This is what I'm looking to do. How much is it going to cost me to redo the site? Okay, it's going to cost you this many dollars. Completely underquoted it because I didn't know what I was doing, but I got the project. I built the website. And then from there, I had the example to show other people, I can do this. We can do this as an agency. And my agency was only like 3 or 4 people at that time. And so I said, yeah, we do web development. Here's the services that we offer. Here's the rough price range. Here's some examples of our work. If you're trying to get into those bigger things and it's a completely outside the box service of yours, it could be something, whether it is in marketing or home improvement or personal development or anything like that. You need to go and get testimonials by first doing it for free. Once you get some examples of that work, then you can go and try and get paid client. But you have to start at that smaller paid client and then work your way up into the bigger ones. And what you're going to realize is that the higher dollar sales and the higher dollar clients of yours are worth it more to you than the smaller dollar clients and more quantity of them. So I'd rather have 10 clients paying me $10,000 a month to do something than 100 clients paying me $1,000 a month, because it's going to be easier to manage. The expectations are going to be different. The systems, the processes, the conversations, completely different when you're dealing with higher dollar things. So if you're doing home remodeling, do you want to go and do 5 jobs in a neighborhood where they're paying you $1,000, or you want to just do one house where it's $50,000? That one house is going to be a lot easier to manage. So you have to think of it like that. If I'm outside the box and I'm not used to this industry, this territory, this type of vertical or niche, then I'm going to do some things for free to get my proof and my social proof that I can do it and learn something there, and then go and get the paid clients. But you can't leapfrog into super small clients to very big ones. That's something that maybe you could fall into, but you're not going to intentionally do that. So you have to earn your stripes by saying, I'm going to grind it out for the next year, 2 years, 5 years, and get these small clients, learn a lot, get all of those wins and W's underneath my belt. Then from there, I'm going to be able to step it up and go to the next level, the next level, and the next level. And if that's the path that you want to go down, you got to start small. Yeah, so once you get to that point where you're starting to deal with the higher ticket clients in systems, processes, SOPs, people, that's what's going to keep you there. And that's what's going to take you to the next level. It's like they say that the hardest growth of a company is between 3 to 5 million. People can get to 1 million, they can get to 3 million, but 3 to 5 is really where the systems and the processes can break down, and that can kick you down a couple notches. Then from there, going from 5 to 20 million is a jump, and then 20 to 50 million, and then 50 million and above. So if you want it, once you get up there, you need to keep reinvesting all of your money back into the business, save the time to take lavish vacations and buy fancy things, invest all your money back in the business, into systems, processes, people that are high quality, that are going to provide the consistent output. So that way there is no guessing game of like, how do we do this? How is this going to work? You've built a system. It's repeatable. It's a process. Then what you're doing is just bringing in higher dollar clients to it, and everything's going to work out fine. You're not going to have these massive hiccups or issues. So people are the strongest value that you have. with the right people, you can pretty much do anything. If you invest too much in the systems and processes and not enough in the people, then you're going to have poor quality work. Then you're going to lose those clients and you're going to be constantly chasing your tail. So you got to say, I'm going to invest back into the business, into the systems to keep building us to that next level and get the right people in place. All right, guys. So just to recap the points, you're a small company trying to get those big ticket items. Be wary of the imposter syndrome. It could be true to you. Get those experience in place, start small and go big. Number two, you got to invest into systems, processes, the people to build yourself up. You need to appear bigger than you are, and you need to go through the steps. There is no leapfrogging going from $1,000 to $1 million. You got to earn your keep in those levels. You have to fight off the competition. You got to keep building that business and take small incremental growth, and those processes and the people are going to be what keeps you there. So if you got value out of this content, share it with somebody that you know. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. If you want to hit me up on social, go over to LinkedIn, send me a connection request or shoot me a message, and I'll see you on the next one.